Welcome to Revenza Tales, where family betrayals ignite the most intricate revenges. What if your own sister manipulated you out of your family's treasured vineyard? Meet Brooke, a devoted vintner whose world shatters when her siblings' schemes rob her of her heritage. But Brooke's fermenting a vengeance as complex as a fine wine. Smash that like button, subscribe for more intoxicating drama, and comment your family feuds below. The vineyard sprawled across sun-kissed hills in Napa Valley, California, rows of vines heavy with grapes, their leaves rustling in the gentle breeze. The air carried the sweet, earthy scent of ripening fruit and loamy soil, a perfume that had defined Brooke Harlan's life since childhood. Brooke, 32, had spent her days among these vines with her grandfather, Harlan Sr., his gnarled hands guiding hers as they pruned branches, his stories of the land's history weaving through the rows like the vines themselves. The Harlan Vineyard wasn't just a farm, it was a living legacy, where harvests turned into award-winning wines, and the tasting room echoed with laughter from visitors sharing toasts. Harlan Sr.'s will, read in the vineyard's oak-beamed cellar last autumn, left the property and an $8 million trust to Brooke, the granddaughter who'd innovated with sustainable practices and kept the cellars full. Her older sister, Nadine, 35, inherited a small wine collection and cash, but her forced nod at the reading, coupled with her habit of biting her nails when plotting, foreshadowed conflict. Nadine, with her designer sunglasses and a tendency to scroll her phone during conversations, had always viewed the vineyard as a burden, dreaming of selling it for luxury developments. The betrayal unfolded like a slow pour. Brooke was in the tasting room, swirling a glass of Cabernet, the rich notes of blackberry and oak filling her senses, when a messenger arrived with a sealed packet. It called her to a law office in downtown Napa, a modern suite smelling of fresh coffee and leather-bound books, where Nadine sat poised, nails freshly manicured, sliding a revised will across the desk. "Grandpa reconsidered," Nadine said, her voice silky as a merlot. The document, bearing notary stamps and legal seals, reassigned the vineyard and $8 million to Nadine. Brooke's glass nearly slipped from her hand in memory. Now, her fingers clenched the paper, creasing it. "This can't be," she murmured, her voice echoing in the quiet room. Nadine's eyes flashed behind her sunglasses, her phone silent for once. "You're too romantic about this dirt patch, Brooke. Grandpa knew you'd never maximize its value." The insult burned. Brooke's eco-friendly methods had won awards, and Harlan Sr. had toasted her innovations with pride. When Brooke demanded verification, Nadine's attorney, a sharp-dressed woman with a pearl necklace, cued a video on a laptop. Harlan Sr., bedridden and pale, his voice weak, confirming the alteration. Brooke's stomach knotted. Harlan Sr.'s eyes lacked their usual twinkle, his words labored. Overwhelmed, she fled the office, the vineyard's distant hills blurring through tears. Was Nadine's plot flawless, or could Brooke distill the truth from her lies? Brooke refused to let her roots wither. She relocated to a modest cottage on the valley's edge, the creak of wooden floors her nightly companion as she took jobs at local wineries to make ends meet. Each drive past the vineyard twisted her heart, Nadine's crews neglecting the vines, leaves wilting, grapes unpicked. Rumors fermented at wine tastings. Nadine was courting a real estate conglomerate to transform the land into condos. Harlan Sr. would have raged. He'd planted every vine for generations to savor, not bulldoze. Brooke engaged a private investigator and lawyer, but Nadine's evidence stood firm, her bank account draining with investigations. Nights in the cottage, surrounded by Harlan Sr.'s old wine journals, their pages yellowed and annotated, she clutched his favorite pruning shears, their blades dull from years of use. How could he forsake her after endless harvests shared? A ray of light broke through when Brooke reconnected with her cousin Trent, 29, Nadine's half-brother from their father's side. Trent, with his messy beard and habit of doodling on napkins when anxious, met Brooke at a hillside cafe, the air crisp with grape scents wafting from nearby fields. The cafe's patio overlooked the valley, birds chirping as they sipped local Pinot. Nadine was secretive during Grandpa's sickness, Trent confessed, sketching vines on a napkin. She managed all his meds, said he was delirious to outsiders. Brooke's breath quickened. She'd been denied visits in the final weeks, Nadine claiming Harlan Sr. needed isolation. They drove to Trent's barn, hay bales stacked high, and rummaged through stored boxes, dust tickling their noses under lantern light. Among faded photos and bottling tools, a leather-bound diary surfaced, Harlan Sr.'s bold handwriting filling the pages. "Nadine harasses me about the will. The vineyard belongs to Brooke, she understands its soul." Brooke's voice cracked reading it, tears dropping onto the leather. This was proof of his unwavering trust. But would it uncork Nadine's deception in court? Pressing forward, Brooke sought out Harlan Sr.'s longtime vineyard manager, Mr. Reyes, a sturdy man in his 50s with a love for cowboy hats and a habit of whistling folk tunes while working. They met at the edge of a neighboring vineyard, the sun setting in hues of orange and purple, vines casting long shadows. Harlan was alert, always praising you, Mr. Reyes said, adjusting his hat. Nadine barred us, said it was for his peace. Brooke's suspicions swelled. Her letters to Harlan Sr. had gone unanswered. Mr. Reyes recalled Nadine's frequent calls to a digital expert. Returning to her cottage, wind rustling through open windows, Brooke charted timelines on a corkboard, pins connecting dates, her tea steaming untouched. What if the video was forged? The question lingered like a stubborn fog. The stakes heightened on a moonlit night. Brooke, pulse thundering, borrowed Trent's key to Nadine's villa, the gate creaking as she slipped in. The villa was opulent, marble floors cool underfoot, the air scented with lavender diffusers. She accessed Nadine's computer in the study, guessing the password, Vine Queen, from her boastful social posts. Files unveiled emails to a video manipulator, detailing alterations to Harlan Sr.'s confirmation, timestamps after his passing. Brooke's hands quivered as she downloaded them, moonlight filtering through curtains like accusing fingers. A door slammed. Nadine home? Brooke dove behind a curtain, the fabric muffling her breaths, as Nadine entered, nails bitten short, muttering about investors, but she grabbed a wine bottle and retreated to the living room. Escaping into the night, vines brushing her legs, Brooke's relief was short-lived. Nadine was organizing a harvest gala to finalize the conglomerate sale. The clock ticked relentlessly. Brooke's drive crystallized, preserving Harlan Sr.'s honor, safeguarding the vineyard for future vintners, correcting Nadine's profound wrong. Her strategy required finesse, a personal assault on Nadine's vanity at a communal peak. She began subtly, hosting wine-tasting pop-ups at local markets, sharing Harlan Sr.'s anecdotes over pours, evoking memories in attendees' eyes. Vintners grumbled, Nadine's letting the vines die. Tensions simmered as alliances formed. Brooke approached the conglomerate CEO, Mr. Lang, at a Valley event, casually dropping hints of title irregularities over a glass of Chardonnay. Mr. Lang's interest peaked. He promised scrutiny. Brooke's adrenaline surged. The yeast was rising. Trent helped retrieve vineyard logs from Harlan Sr.'s old safe, the combination etched in a wine label. Security footage captured Nadine badgering Harlan Sr. in his bed, her voice insistent, sign it or watch the vineyard fall. Brooke replayed it, tears streaming, Harlan Sr.'s weariness heartbreaking. Financial records showed Nadine siphoning funds pre-death to offshore accounts. Brooke's cottage became a command center, walls covered in charts, sleep fragmented by visions of victory and failure. Perils mounted, Nadine's guards patrolled the vineyard, their flashlights sweeping like searchlights. Brooke evaded a tail on a country road, her car's engine straining. Layering the plot, Brooke consulted Mr. Reyes for ledger insights. In his rustic cabin, tools scattered, he verified Nadine's debts, his whistle low and thoughtful. She's mortgaged the vines already, he revealed. Brooke integrated, exposing Nadine's financial collapse. Anonymous newsletters, vineyard whispers, circulated in wine circles, stirring intrigue. Nadine texted, tone threatening, cease or regret it. Fear gripped Brooke, but resolve hardened. As gala approached, suspense peaked. Brooke practiced her confrontation, words flowing in the mirror. Trent scouted the venue, noting security, but a guard confronted him. State your business. He fled, doodling frantically, alerting Brooke. A leaked article, Napa legacy in peril? Hit papers, amplifying pressure. Nadine skipped events, her nail-biting visible in photos. Brooke shadowed her, heart racing, dodging detection in crowds. The gala evening shimmered, the vineyard alight with lanterns, the air rich with grape and oak scents, guests mingling in finery. Nadine, in a flowing gown, toasted new vintages, her smile strained. Brooke, disguised in an elegant dress and hat, infiltrated, evidence USB in her clutch. Her motivation pulsed, justice for Harlan Sr., vineyard's preservation. During Nadine's speech on a decorated stage, Brooke signaled a loyal worker to override the AV system. Screens flared, Nadine's harassments, video manipulations, financial thefts. Silence fell, then uproar erupted. Brooke unveiled herself, ascending steps, microphone in hand. This is Grandpa's true will. She detailed the fraud, projections underscoring each revelation, the crowd's gasps building like a storm. Nadine lunged. She's fabricating, but a lies restrained her. Mr. Lang rose, sale cancelled, corrupted roots. Authorities, tipped off, arrested Nadine, her cries echoing as she was led away. The authentic will reinstated Brooke's control. Nadine, convicted of forgery and embezzlement, forfeited everything, banished to a drab existence. Brooke revitalized the vineyard, harvests abundant, Harlan Sr. spirit enduring. Recovery wove through seasons. Brooke tended the vines personally, her hands soiled, grapes ripening under her care, the tasting room buzzing with renewed life. Trent became her partner, his doodles inspiring new label designs, their collaboration seamless. Mr. Reyes led tours, his whistles a vineyard soundtrack, sharing tales of Harlan Sr.'s tenacity. Nadine's pleas arrived via mail, desperate for forgiveness, but Brooke archived them, focusing on growth. One twilight, by Harlan Sr.'s favorite oak tree, Brooke raised a glass, whispering gratitude to the wind. The vineyard flourished, a symbol of resilience. Years later, Brooke mentored a young winemaker, passing on Harlan Sr.'s wisdom, vengeance evolving into lasting legacy. The revival became a Napa legend. Brooke introduced biodynamic farming, the vines thriving, awards piling up in the cellar. She hosted wine festivals, music and laughter filling the hills, guests toasting under stars. Trent found love with a sommelier, their wedding a vineyard affair, vows exchanged amid blooming vines. Mr. Reyes, retired but visiting, carved wooden signs for the rose, his hat a fixture. Occasional news of Nadine surfaced, struggling in a city job, isolated, but Brooke channeled energy into the land. One harvest, under a golden sun, Brooke unveiled a memorial plaque for Harlan Sr., tears mixing with joy as friends gathered. The vineyard stood eternal, revenge's bitterness sweetened into triumph. The expansion extended beyond the hills. Brooke partnered with schools for viticulture programs, kids learning to graft, their excitement mirroring her childhood wonder. She built a community center on the property, offering classes on wine history, the rooms filled with eager learners. Personal milestones marked the years. Brooke composed a vineyard journal, its pages chronicling the saga, published to acclaim. Trent's designs won awards, his napkin sketches now framed in the tasting room. Mr. Reyes gifted his whistle tunes, recorded for a vineyard soundtrack. Nadine's final letter, opened after years, admitted defeat. You deserved it all. No response needed. Brooke's piece was complete. As time flowed, Brooke handed the reins to her protégé, retiring to a hillside home overlooking the vines, writing sequels to her journal. The book series inspired vintners worldwide, the vineyard story a beacon. In her garden, flowers blooming, Brooke sipped her wine, toasting Harlan Sr., we kept the spirit alive. The legacy endured, revenge transformed into an everlasting vintage. That's how Brooke bottled her victory on Revenza Tales. Would you have uncorked such a plan, or let family vines entangle you? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if this saga captivated you, smash that like button and subscribe for more epic family revenge tales every week.